On this episode of DockSide TV, we're going to be rig hopping, catching pretty speckled trout like this one right here. Stay tuned for this episode of DockSide TV, hopping the rigs in Lake Borgne. The size of the trout we're catching. It's about a 25% keeper ratio. They're all ranging between 10 inches and 14 inches. That's been the name of the game out here on bouncing these rigs in Lake Borgne. And get a measurement on that one. It'll stretch. We'll go ahead and put that one in the box. And what you want to do out here when you're fishing these rigs in Lake Borgne, they're really good in the months of May through July. That's really the time of year that we target them. Great place to look for some trout action in the summertime, as what happens nowadays is the salinities in Lake Pontchartrain are very low in the summertime. So it's very hard to find a speckled trout bite in the summer in the Pontchartrain Basin, and we have to come out here to Lake Borgne. Now there's rigs all over Lake Borgne. You got them right out the mouth of the Wrigley's. You got a few right at the mouth of Unknown Pass. You got some outside of the Chef. You got some of the best ones are in the middle of the lake and then closer towards Bayou Biloxi. That seems where the bigger fish come from. Now us being in a smaller boat, we're just staying closer to the western shoreline today. Just trying to put a few in the box. Getting plenty of throwbacks, but couple keepers. You're going to run into some of these wellheads. It's going to be all 12 to 18 inch trout one day. You're going to go to the same wellhead the next day, it's nothing but white trout. So you just got to keep bouncing around until you find what you want. We're simply throwing matrix shads on a 3/8 ounce jig head. If you have live shrimp, it certainly can help, especially on the tougher, more difficult days. But with the amount of throwbacks that's out here, you're going to be going through a lot of wasted shrimp on fish you got to throw back. Now what you want to do also when you get to these rigs is take the trolling motor, go all around them until you find the sweet spot. A lot of days that you might not get a bite on the eastern side of the rig or the upcurrent side of the rig, and you get to the downcurrent side and it's every cast. So you don't want to simply just pull up to the rig, make a couple casts and think the fish aren't there without fishing it thoroughly through. Well, these things have really plagued our fishery this year, these redfish of this size. But this is a good problem to have. Those 17, 18 inch reds, when I tell you they're everywhere that we've been trying. I mean, I don't know what brought these fish in. Could have been that late tropical storm we had last year. Been one of the tropical systems this year, but that's what happens on tropical systems, is it'll bring in a certain species or size fish, and it's like they come in by the by the zillions and take over, and these reds have been everywhere. And that's the other thing with fishing these wellheads like this, especially if you got live shrimp. You're gonna catch sheephead, drum, redfish, white trout, croakers, speckled trout. It's a great place to bring a kid fishing, tie up to the wellhead, drop it to the bottom, and let whatever bites bite. See if we can get a few more. All right, when pulling up to these rigs, it's good to come out from a distance, put the trolling motor down, and come in quietly so you don't spook the fish. And not only that, you might find a fish far off the rig rather than right tight up on it. And that way you can cover some water and locate the fish and where they're gonna be. Fish right there. And as you can see, we're on a different wellhead set. These are more, we call them the chair rigs. The little white rigs out here. There's plenty of these. Some of them are in solos. Nice 15-inch trout right there. Got that one on the glow matrix, 3/8 ounce black platinum. But these little white wellheads like this, they hold them just as good as any other rig. We were on the big cement rig earlier, and you just got to keep bouncing around. The cement rig was tons of throwbacks. Most of the fish we've caught on here has been all quality fish like this. So like I said, keep bouncing around till you find the species or the size of the fish that you're looking for. Try to get another good trout. Another nice trout on that glow. I'm just going to throw that one in the bottom of the boat. Got on a little bite here. We're finding that these fish are tight to the wellheads today, or on this particular set, but that can change day to day, and it can also change on each wellhead set. You know, you got to find the shell pads. Obviously, the rig is going to produce a sort of structure, and they're going to like the wellhead or the rig itself. But some of these rigs, you know, like this particular set we're on right here, there's 2 wellheads. There used to be 3. And wherever there's a wellhead that got pulled up, there's gonna be a shell pad underneath it. So a lot of days when we're fishing out here looking for the trout, we might be casting way away from the wellheads that you can visually see, because we're fishing the shell pad that used to support the rig that was previously pulled up. And that's what happens is, in order to get these wellheads to really stay in the ground and stay stationary and stick into the ground permanently, they'll put shells down there to help them rather than just the mud bottom of the Lake Borgne. So finding the wellheads with good shell pads is the key. It's gonna get me on that pole. Fish try to get me up on the well, on the pipe. Come on in. Come on in with your bad self.
Is that a shrimp jump on top of it?
Yep. Alright, all we did on this particular day was simply jump from rig to rig. We started on the big cement rigs off of Alligator Point, moved to the little white chair wellheads right outside of Unknown Pass, ended up at the 2-lane rig, and finished the day off right there at the mouth of the Wrigley's at the big giant rig right there in Lake Borgne. So that's the name of the game. Hit a couple of rigs, keep moving around. One rig you're gonna pluck 2 or 3 fish. Some you might get on a run or a rally, get 8 to 15 fish. And if you catch them really biting, you can get a limit off of just one wellhead. That's going to be the thing to do throughout most of the summer until the fish come back into Pontchartrain for the fall for that speckled trout run. I hope you enjoyed this episode of DockSide TV. Make sure to follow all of our DockSide TV episodes and subscribe to our channel. Until next time, good fishing, signing out from MatrixShad.com.